Hi everyone. We are here with Rajasthani Geeks, and we have Punit here. And Punit is the representative of Pragmatic Programmers, Rajasthani Geeks, and this is powered by. Okay, I'll just let Punit to take over right now. Punit, go ahead and tell us what is happening, what is the event about, and how we are going to go ahead with this whole thing.
Thank you, Mr. Praveen, first of all, for letting us collaborate for this event. It's really going to be an amazing event because you are here. So I'm Punit Chaudhary from Rajasthani Geeks, the founder of Pragmatic Programmer. So we at the Rajasthani Geeks host weekly events about programming, about software development and all. Okay, so it is run by the CodeCademy. It's a CodeCademy community.
Nice.
So today we will be hosting an event that's a web dev AMA session where Mr. Praveen, who is an expert here, full stack developer, he'll be answering all the questions that we have, most of the questions that we have collected from the users. And then there will be AMA session for everyone where you can ask everything about software development, about his roadmap, and anything about web dev. So if you have any sort of queries, you can just put them down in the chat section.
Yes, I would like the whole session to be extremely interactive. So whoever watching it, please use the chat message and let's take the complete, let's go with the question and answer session. That's exactly what I was also expecting. So that would be a great, it would be a great mind opener or eye opener for those people who want to get into the web development or the full stack development field. And here we go. Yeah.
There seems to be some problem with the audio, I guess. Can you hear me?
No, not exactly. It is fine here.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
So most of people are get frustrated when starting the web dev journey or any sort of software journey because they are not. There's no one who is answering the questions. That's why we thought of this event. And once again, thank you, Mr. Praveen, for collaborating with us. Okay, so let's get started with the first question. We have this question. This was the question that majority of the people were asking. So you have seen the craze of Web 3 nowadays. Okay, so this question is about that. What is Web 2 and what is Web 3? And why there is so much craze about Web 3? And what's the difference between Web 2 and Web 3?
Okay, this is actually a cool question. And there are a lot of confusions evolving around Web 2 and Web 3. So currently what we are using right now, you're using Google, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. All these things are Web 2.0. So back in those days when Web 1.0 is there, so the difference between Web 1.0 and Web 2.0 is like one single way of web, right? So you can only see basic web pages. There are HTML pages all around, and you will not be able to interact with you can just see something like it is just a read-only web. When Web 2.0 arrived, the first thing came in was the social media, and there were a lot of user-generated contents, which means the web was writable, to be honest. And Web 2.0 enabled mobile access, the high quality of high bandwidth, and you can also start with video calling and chatting, like whatever you're doing right now, like streaming, etc. All these things are Web 2.0, and there are a lot of web apps available right now. You download a lot of apps from the App Store or Play Store and then start working with that. So that's another thing. And you have monetization, right? So a lot of YouTubers, except me, not me, a lot of YouTubers, they kind of monetize their content as well. So those things are all part of Web 2.0. And obviously the speed between Web 1.0 and 2.0 has drastically increased. Whenever if you want to create any kind of animation or something like that, you'd be using something like Java applets in Web 1.0. Now here in Web 2.0, you would be using JavaScript, Canvas, a lot of Flash, etc. Like Flash was one of the earliest ways of animating content. Now you are using CSS and JavaScript. So coming to Web 3.0, what is it basically? So it is basically a semantic web. So there are distributed apps available, which are called as dApps. And whenever you are trying to do something, you don't get money, right? But in this case, in Web 3.0, whatever you do, users can actually monetize their data as well. So whenever you're trying to share something, so definitely you would be sharing a lot of information with social network sites like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, but you're not getting any money out of it, right? But whereas in case of Web 3.0, this is going to change. Any action that you are going to perform, you are going to earn some money. And how many of you have not heard of NFTs, non-fungible tokens? And you can actually make a huge number of, like huge amount of money through them. So I'm not an NFT expert. I have not explored that area, but NFTs, you can actually sell your artwork and get your NFTs. Like you can get it through Bitcoins and other things. And the next big thing about Web 3.0 is I have also, even in my workplace, they have started using AR and VR and MR. MR is mixed reality, which consists of three things, which is augmented reality, virtual reality, and extended reality. So AR, VR, XR, all these things combined together as MR, mixed reality. So this one uses like some kind of like an Oculus style gear, and all you need to do is you just get into this VR headset, and then you can go to like something like metaverse or any other different. There is something for my office called Spatial. So Spatial is something like you stay in your home, okay, and if you want to come to the office, you will be using your VR headset or XR headset, and then you get into the Spatial. You can literally go into the office, go to the cafeteria, everything by sitting in your in your seat. And there is another concept called as permissionless blockchains. So for people who know blockchains, they might know what exactly would be a permissionless blockchain as well. So I don't want to dive deep into it, but there are something related to blockchains. And then finally, we have got AI. So AI is really cool, right? So a lot of things nowadays which you are working with are AI based. For example, even the Google suggestion is AI based. TikTok, if you take all those TikTok or Instagram reels or anything, leave those two things. YouTube shorts. So if you start watching one particular shorts, the next will be like kind of addictive. So those things are all artificial intelligence based, machine learning based. They will try to learn what you are good at and what you like, and then you will go with those things. So they will be starting to suggest those stuff. So that's about Web 3.0. So this is something from a nutshell, like a bird's eye view. And what do you think, Puneet? Does this answer your question or answer the community's question about Web 1.0, 2.0, 3.0?
Yeah, that's great. So I hope everyone got the answer. And this is really amazing. So Web 3 is like an upgraded version of the web that we are currently using. And really super excited for this thing. Even I have never knew about this thing. Thank you, Mr. Praveen. So moving to our next question, we have, okay, this is also a popular question among the community members. They keep asking us this thing. Should they prefer bootcamp or Udemy courses, or should they join a college or university for that?
So basically, if you ask me, I have also studied in India as well as the UK, and it's not something that I have against the Indian colleges, but Indian colleges or universities are completely outdated. So today, people are actually earning using NFTs, and they're making hundreds and thousands of rupees just by selling something like a scribble. So I don't think universities are still updated. Even the UK universities are not updated. Then what about Indian universities and colleges? So that is not one of the best ways to go for. But what I would rather recommend is, so if you want to keep up with the technology and if you want to move towards what exactly is happening, best thing is go with the flow. Like, for example, for learning something in the tech field, go with Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is something like you have a lot of people asking crazy questions, lot of questions. So you will understand what exactly is happening all around the world, like not just India or not just a single country, but all around the world. People will be getting so many questions and they are posting it. Like, I have this problem, I'm using this particular software, someone I need to help or something like that. So if this is the area that you are practicing, or if you are good with this area, so you would be able to answer the question. Not only by answering the question, you are helping another person, you are also learning something totally new. So this is something I have never worked on. wow, this is totally cool. Can you even do with this? I have been knowing all these days the same thing. I have been using JavaScript for all my life, but I don't know that you can do this with JavaScript. So something like that. These kind of things happen for me using Stack Overflow. And there are so many games using development, like for example, Code Wars, where you can actually compete with your fellow developers. There is also CSS Wars, where you can do the same thing for the CSS part of things, and those things will actually improve your efficiency and knowledge on these JavaScript and CSS. So coming to Code Wars again, Code Wars doesn't only show JavaScript problems. It also has almost all the different languages. Almost 256 languages are supported in Code Wars. So that's something which
That's
is
amazing.
really. And every year there is something called as Advent of Code during the Christmas Eves. So what you need to do is, there is one particular website on December 1st every year. It opens up a lot of questions related to technology, or like it's normal generic questions. So there is a plane and there are like 75 passengers, only 25% will be allowed. How many passengers will be allowed really? So 25%, then it's kind of like 75 divided by 4. That would be the answer. You can use any kind of programming logic or anything. You can even use calculator to put the answer. But if you're using a programming application, then it makes it. So initially the questions will be very easy for first day, second day, and third day. Then going further, it will be extremely difficult, because you would be given a big input and there will be an output that will be asked. So you need to feed the input to the program, and then based on the input, you would be able to answer the output. So that's exactly what Advent of Code does. And these are a couple of things that I would do to understand, get updated with the technology and get updated with what all things that I need to know.
And even during the Code Wars, and or even during the advent of code, some communities are also making their own room for the advent of code and making this a friendly challenge. Even we did this time, and this was really
Nice.
amazing. So there's one more question in this thing. So it's like there's a guy who from our community. He's a freshman, so he want to ask, should he be doing web dev? I mean, he is learning web development. So should he keep learning web development or focus on the DSA and competitive side? He's a freshman. Want to know if he should be doing the development side or the competitive programming side.
A lot of people have been asking this question lately, and the answer is, what exactly do you want to do in your life? Like, what is it that you like to do? That is what I would go with. For example, even now, if someone gives me 1 crore rupees per minute to work on Java, I will politely reject the offer. Whereas if you are asking me to work for free for 10 days on a React.js application, I would put my holidays and then I will work on it. That is the passion I have got towards one particular language versus another particular language. So try to find out. I know it is very hard to find out what would be the passion, but at this age, I believe you don't have much responsibilities like me, and you have the time and effort. You can put in your time and effort to explore what all the different applications are available, different software sites are available. So don't go with the name. Okay, I want to join the FANG companies, or I want to join this particular company or something like that. That could be there, but don't go with this like, okay, I want to join the FANG companies or product-based companies. See, ultimately, even if you join TCS or Infosys or Wipro, you would be joining a product-based company at the end, and you would be working for them. So within Accenture, when I was working for 2.5 years, I was working with like more than 25 different product-based companies in 2.5 years. So ultimately, even if you go into any service-based company, you would be ending up working for a product-based company. And one more thing is, so don't go with that kind of an intention. And one good thing about service-based companies, I'm not vouching for service-based companies, but you have a better chance of survival in service-based companies. I don't know why a lot of people will say, I want to go to a start. Going to a startup is completely fine, because you'll be learning a lot. You would be having a lot of responsibilities, and you will know a lot. You'll learn a lot. You will become a good developer, good person, whatever it is. But I don't understand why people choose like product versus service-based companies. Ultimately, everything is a product-based company. So that is one thing, and that is coming from my experience. And another thing which I wanted to say is, try out literally all the different streams. So if you like DSA, I guess it's going to work only till the interview clearing part. After that, what are you going to do? So you know everything about DSA, let's say. And then if you go into the work, so you need to create a Java application, you need to create a .NET application, you need to create a React.js application. How is DSA going to help you? Or how is CP going to help you? You need to know the React.js basics, or you need to know the .NET basics, or you need to know the Java basics. I'm a Java hater. I'm a hater of all the static type languages. So I'm extremely in love with JavaScript and PHP and MySQL, or HTML and CSS as well. So coming to these things, try to understand two things. Number one, what is that you like to do? Second, how much scope it has got in the industry. So if you say you want to do CP, DP, and DSA, it is going to be very, very helpful. You will be better than me because I'm a complete failure in these three topics, and it is going to help you with only till the interview crossing area. After that, it is not going to help you. So that's exactly what I was trying to say. By the way, Punit, your video got switched off. Is there any issues in your computer or like in your phone? And I hope it was helpful. Was the answer clear? I'm not able to hear you.
Yeah, it was totally clear to me. Is my video fine now?
Yeah, it's all fine. Yeah,
cool. There was some sort of glitch in the phone actually.
No worries.
Okay. Yeah, so it reminded me of another question actually. So the another question is, when should you know that you are capable to join hackathons? Because you are a hackathon mentor, and so nobody would be better than you to explain this answer.
To be honest, if there is a hackathon coming up, go ahead and join. That's it. That is the eligibility. So if you know how to click on register for the hackathon, and you know what is the process to register into a hackathon, go for it. That is when you are eligible. If you know how to use a computer, that's when you are eligible.
Okay. So there's nothing like you should try out. That's
you have to try out. I mean, who knows? You might end up being the best hacker. You might even beat me on the skills, and then who knows? Unless and until you explore things, you don't know. Try it out and fail. You could say with pride that you tried out and then you failed it, rather than not trying and being a spectator is one of the worst things.
Exactly. So the next question which we have is, so people were interested to know the roadmap that you have taken, or what was your journey and where they should start from.
Okay, for me, I have done a lot of things in my life, and I could say a couple of things that are better for the juniors now. So the first thing which I did was I did my master's in cloud computing from University of Leicester to come to the UK. I had this feel, okay, first thing is I want to get a job. That's it. And back in those days when I was in your period, in your age, or like second or third or fourth years, even in the final year of my engineering, I was thinking, okay, which one is better, Apsara pencil or Nataraj pencil? I had a huge argument and conflict. So coming to that level, that was the maximum I was thinking. But now you all are like, community leads, mentors. Even now there are like people who are actually taking conferences like in hand when you are just in your first or second years. So the generation gap is like super huge, and that is one of the best things that I can see what is happening right now. And secondly, what I wanted to say is, since okay, I forgot the question. Would you like to repeat the question again?
Yeah, now the question was, what was your journey and what the roadmap they should follow to become a software developer?
Got it. My only thing was, when I was in my sixth standard, I decided from that time onwards I'll be going to be a software developer. And on my eighth standard, I got to know that I would be a better web developer. And I was not sure which path I should be going. Like, should I go with the back end or full stack or front end, something like that? That was my confusion. So when I started my first job was in TCS, and it was an innovation labs. I was so happy that I know both backend and front end. I was writing CSS using JavaScript, which was one of the worst things to do. And when I just went and told everything in the confidence, they slammed me like I have got zero knowledge of anything. And at that point of time, I learned everything from the industry experts. And then in TCS, I was like in the innovation labs, I was working completely on front end, and their backend was Ruby on Rails. But I love a backend which was PHP back then. So JavaScript was not created as a backend language back then. So it was the Node.js part came up only like 5 or 6 years ago. And when it came, like that was my choice. I chose to be a front-end developer, and I started working on my front-end skills. So I started learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in the proper way. And back in those days, we had something called as Internet Explorer 6, which was not even considered as a browser now. So considering all these factors, I have to make sure that a particular website runs in all Internet Explorer 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, Chrome, Firefox. These were the things that I need to make sure that it works. But unfortunately, that was not the case. I went through a lot of changes. So that's how I became a perfect front-end developer, I hope. And then coming to the backend side of things, I started with PHP and MySQL, the LAMP stack environment, Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. And then once JavaScript started booming, I switched to MERN stack. It's MySQL, Express.js. I know my M stand for MongoDB, but I chose to use MySQL again here. So MySQL, Express, React, and Node. So that way I started working with my MongoDB, my MERN stack skills. And then now I'm getting jobs worth like 100K pounds and other things. So that's almost like a crore for just being a front-end developer. So this is in London. But in India, it is still very less. Like maybe you might get around like 60 lakhs or something like that. So look for it. So this is my initial journey. I started with that. So, but I did not know what to do next. So when I had a huge personal loss in 2012, like 10 years ago, I was planning to do something like, okay, after a year later, since it's not going to solve anything. So I thought of like, I would like to quit TCS and go to UK to pursue my master's in cloud computing. I have always dreamed of going out of India, but because I'm so much attached to my family, I'm very close to my mom and dad. So that's something which was stopped me. And later, when it was 2013 September, I went to University of Leicester to pursue my master's in cloud computing. A lot of people told negatively about UK, you won't get jobs, etc. Now, right now, I have got like 5 different offers from 5 different companies. I'm literally struggling to reject and keep one. So it's that is the current scenario right now. So if you need kind of like a proof, that is also possible to provide. But that's exactly what is happening right now. So in the UK, we don't have much skilled workers like us. Even in the managers are like, okay, we prefer Indian students and Indian professionals rather than Europeans or Americans. This is literally the words said by one of my boss, who is a British person. So the reason being, we are going through such a crazy way of pressure in our universities. Why should I study integration, differentiation, calculus, etc. in school times? And why should I study this dreaded degree stopping paper? Oh my God, I even forgot what is the name of the paper. Digital signal processing in my final year. That's in my final year of CSE, which is weird, right? Like, why should a computer science engineer study about signal processing? And there you go. We study literally everything. And people here, not only in the UK, even in the US and in most of the European countries, Indian professionals are preferred to the local ones. So my life went that way. So I went into the UK to pursue my master's in cloud computing. And to be honest, one great crazy thing happened. Sometimes we see a lot of soap serials, etc., and we sometimes become the drama queen of what people they show, right? So I was the only person who has got an internship in the UK's history of University of Leicester and other British universities to get an internship without a CV. CV is very important here. Curriculum vitae or resume is very, very important. That's the first step of getting a CV, getting a job. But without that, I got into an internship. It's by networking, by having a rapport with people. And then once you need something, you can directly ask them, right? You don't need a formal thing. So a formality, the thing that has came into places, because like there are like 100 people do 100 different things, so that we need to make a uniform thing out of it. Exceptions can occur, so this is one of the exceptions, and this can be possible because it's just very clear that this person is really good, and there is no need of a CV to change the life, right? So that one happened. So I did my master's in cloud computing, which was like 2-year course. Out of that, 8 months, 1/3 of the course is a fully fully visa sponsored internship, full-time internship. So 8 months I was working as a growth hacker, where I was doing my work from CEO to Pune, every single thing. And then now the company is doing really great. And then I did my master's dissertation, the final year project. And once that was done, I got into Accenture. I got into one small Indian company for 1.5 months, which I did not like. The way they treated people, I did not like. You can find out what company it is if you want to. Yeah. And then I got into Accenture for 2.5 years. And it was one of the best journeys ever, because I worked with 27 different companies, different clients for 3 to 6 months each. And then I got a really good experience. And then when I went out, I was like literally in tears, because this was one of the best companies I have. Like, people were really best. I don't say the company is good, but people who treated me with utmost respect, etc. So Accenture 2.5 years. Then I went to a mini Accenture called Headforwards. That was there for 1.5 years. I worked with one single company, which was an insurance domain. So I kind of like convinced them to go from Angular to React, and completely it was a React project. And then the next thing was I wanted to come to London, so I came to this product-based company called Game Analytics. It's Google Analytics for games. And then I was working with TypeScript, React, and I kind of like tried to change my language from JavaScript to TypeScript. Did not work out. Five months down the lane, I just quit the job. And then I came to another company, Virtusa, and I was there for another 1.5 years there, where I was working with a huge bank, one of the top 2 British banking firms. And then it's like ICICI Bank of India, like that, like UK. So I completely took over the mortgage side of things. Did a lot of things on the user experience part. It was really a nice journey. After the project was over, right now I was working with this top US-based investment banking firm for about 6 months, and now pretty much jobless again. So going back to the community, talking to people, what things can be done. Right now, a lot of people are hiring. So I want to help the folks who are in India to come to the UK. So all these things, this is what is my complete journey in a nutshell.
This was amazing, actually. So I was amazed when I saw your journey on the LinkedIn. So if you guys haven't remembered anything, no worries. It's a big journey. So, and it's just the starting for Mr. Praveen. So you can just check out his LinkedIn. He's really looking forward to connect with everyone. You can also message them. I remember when I just created my LinkedIn account and just got to know about Mr. Praveen. I checked out his YouTube channel, watched some videos, check out his Twitter and all. And then I was not, I sent him the connect request, but I was not feeling like he will accept it. So I pressed the follow button. But then I got a message from him. He was introducing himself and asking for me to introduce. And that was really amazing. I showed that to my father and my family that, see, he's a developer and he's now in connection with me, in the first connection on the LinkedIn. That was really amazing. So he's really looking forward to connect with everyone. You can ask him anything if you are in a dilemma to choose anything. He's really looking forward for that.
One more thing
and now,
one more thing is like, I would like to treat everyone the way I want to be treated. And second thing, I would love to talk with everyone about your career. If you want a job in the UK, if you want to come to study to the UK, yes, even that is okay for me. And apart from these things, a quick introduction over a simple message. Yes, I'm always in for those things.
That's amazing. The other question was going to about opportunity, and we have just discussed about the opportunities. You can just connect with Mr. Praveen, and there will be a lot of opportunities open for you guys. So the other question was what the roadmap people should follow. Like they should follow the Udemy. You have told that we should go to the Stack Overflow and all these things, solve the coding problems on the Code of Advent and Code Wars, all of these. But should they follow the textbooks or the online courses or a boot camp?
Change is the only thing that is constant, and JavaScript completely embraces it, because whatever you learned yesterday, today it might become obsolete. Okay, got it. I completely finished the React 17. Oh, really? React 18 was just dropped. It's open right now for business, and whatever you learned is not needed. So go ahead and start working with React 18. So that's exactly how fast JavaScript is picking up, and a lot of things are happening with JavaScript world. So this is the same thing with the IT industry as well. A lot of new technologies and things are coming up. How many of you have heard of these things called Golang and other things? Google's now using Golang, not Python anymore. So something like that. So textbooks, they are printed like 100 years ago, when it is compared to the updates that is happening right now. Like every single minute there is a new language is coming up. So think about those two kids who are still in their fourth year or third years. They created this bylang.js, and that is completely like, the bylang, hello, bye, something like that. So
I remember
that was completely using JavaScript and its lexical grammar, etc. So kudos to them, hats off to them. But if that is the speed at which things are getting developed, then I don't think textbooks are really a thing. Like, they are a thing of the past, to be honest. I mean, I'm still surprised if a university is teaching by textbooks. They're not even a university or not. I mean, like, universities are fine if they are teaching in textbooks in late 2000s, but now it is 2022, and if they are still depending on textbooks for the starting things, it is okay. But if they are coming out of it, it's going to be like, what will happen if you as a student immediately transported from 2022 to 2122? So you would be feeling the same way in the industry right now. So I bet I'm putting this as an open challenge to any of the universities to challenge me on this. I'm happy to receive your feedback on if this is true or false. I mean, I'm in the industry for like almost 20 years now, and I know how things are going with the industry as well as the university, because I have been with the university as well. So
yeah, actually, university is far behind from the latest technologies nowadays. The textbooks are not really updated. Even nowadays, we can assume it through this example. Even nowadays, the universities are teaching C programming through the Turbo C. They are not even using Notepad. Even Notepad is better than Turbo C.
No, I don't understand where exactly C and C++ are being used right now. Unless and otherwise you are creating a new language like Node.js compiler, or a software that does a driver software which like connects between two hardware. Some new hardware has been released, and if you want to plug it into the USB, you need some kind of a driver, right? So only for those things C and C++ are being used. Either for that, you're creating some games using C++. Even there are like more multi-high level programs have been there. Like, you can use Unity 3D, you can use something from it starts with U again, another game engine, Unreal Engine. So those kind of things are like, you can create games using that. So games also, you don't use C++. Coming to the drivers part, yeah, you might be using C++ for the drivers thing. Apart from that compiler, something new that you want to create. Are you planning to create something like a bylang or something like that? Then yes, C++ is for you. Otherwise, if you are just going to go with the flow of what people are doing, like what I am doing, I never use C++ in my life. I never use DSA in my life. In fact, in my third year when DSA was there, I was a failure in that. So coming to the roadmap part, I would like to share my screen and show a couple of things. Let's ask the folks if they are able to see the screen on YouTube. Anyone can someone confirm me? There are only 3 people watching this.
For me, the screen is visible.
Okay, I don't know what happens with all my live streams. Only 3 or 2 people are watching, but anyway, fine. So
no worries. We'll share the link, and maybe because of the trouble that goes.
Yeah, I got it. Cool. I'm feeling so bad that they are missing out on such an amazing content. But anyway, so people will be like they will try hard to get the worst experience, and then they will understand, okay, this is what. But I'm here giving you, hey, here's a direct thing. No one believes me. Anyway, so I would like to give a quick introduction about what I have been doing. So to be honest, I'm a full stack JavaScript specialist specializing on React and Node.js. And what is a full stack developer who doesn't have a website? So this is my website. It says with a big picture of me, Praveen Kumar. I'm a cat lover, I'm a cook, I'm a mentor, and all these other things, front end developer, etc. So here are all the different places where you can stalk me, and here's the YouTube channel that we are working on. And if you look at there, you would be able to see that this particular thing is going live as well. And this is like far better than seeing in Zoom, right? Like, yeah. So so that is happening right now. And what I want you all to do is, like, once you finish this, if you become a web developer, before you become a web developer, start with creating your own portfolio. So whenever you're doing something for yourself, it is going to be really helpful. So because it is going to make you feel that you are going to do something for yourself. So I have got a simple about me section where I have got only those things that are required. For example, birth date is okay, but you don't need the birth year, or you have the phone number and email here, so you can easily connect with me. View profile will go to my LinkedIn profile. And then when I believe a lot of people watching this are students, so in case if you don't have experience, just try putting your projects out here. And then for education, what did I do? I just copied everything from a university brochure. And these numbers which I have written here they are just, like made up numbers. I've got a lot more completed project than 116 projects, got a lot of awards for doing something really impactful to the community. Try to do all those things. And portfolio wise, there are like about these things. So one thing which I wanted to tell everyone is, this is something that you can take away from this one. So if you are building something cool, try to create some portfolios for yourself. So this is something which I built, and anyone who wants to judge me on these things can actually check out what I have done. For example, in simple terms, I did this particular application like 12 years ago. This is something like 11 years ago, and this is like 10 years ago. So comparing these three applications with whatever I have done these couple of days, you can see that it is more better, like how I have improved from 10 years across the 10 years. So that is something which I would like you all to do. And another thing for the students is, so once you have completed your 4 years of engineering, you will be entering the industry. In industry, written communication skills are very important. So start writing your own blog. So what I have generally what kind of a suggestion I generally give to students is, write two types of blogs. One is some kind of a problem you got into, and this is the solution that you are looking for. These are the steps that you did, and then this is the solution that you got, which is almost like 90% the solution, or 100% this is what the solution does. So this is something which actually inspires people to see how you have worked on something. And not only that, I have been recruiting students, like interviewing students for about like 4 to 5 years right now. And I look at only the approach. What is the problem solving approach? I don't see DSA. I don't see what kind of code you are writing. I'm just looking at your thought process, how you are solving a problem from A to B. So that is what is very important, rather than a particular language or particular thing, like something like DSA, CPDP, something like that. And finally, coming to another type of blogs that I write is, if at all you learn something new, try to explain it to a 5-year-old kid or your grandma or grandpa in a simple storytelling way, which is actually going to be helpful to that. In that case, you are able to understand the complete concept yourself, and then you're explaining it. So that way it is going to stay stronger. And apart from this is what people talk behind my back, and here's how you can talk behind my back. This is a simple example of what I have done with my skills and knowledge. And one more thing which I wanted to talk about the roadmap is, there is this site called as roadmap. One of the best sites that I will tell everyone to follow. The reason being, if you look at this, if you want to become a front-end developer or a back-end developer, all the roadmaps are here. So for example, if we take a front-end development or back-end development, let's see what exactly they have given here. So for the if you become both, if you know both front-end and back-end completely, you will become a full stack developer. before going into this particular thing in depth, I'm going to tell you, I know only 60% of the front end developer here and only 30% of the back end developer here. So I hope I'm a good developer. So coming to the front end part, you need to know the basics of internet. You need to start with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then you need to go for the version control systems. So there are like loads and loads of times I have told. How many of you want to go for a time machine travel? How many of you like to travel in time machine?
Of course, everyone would like to that.
Right. So what if you can go through the time machine using your code? So version control systems are mainly for that. You can create Git commits on those times. So I have actually written a lot of I have actually done a lot of live streams on how version control systems can make you go travel time, etc. And not only that, you have got these things. So how many of you want to learn something using game? Punit?
Yeah, I would really love to do that.
So for example,
I love playing games.
Great. If you take the CSS part, in the layouts, there are so many layouts that you have heard of. And the CSS grid and Flexbox, these two things are very important and it is used very much in the industry. So how you would be learning it? If you go through documentation, it is going to be very confusing. So what about playing a game? So there is this thing called as Flexbox Froggy. And if you go to this Flexbox Froggy game, and if you start learning this one, like if you start working on this, for example, you have got this one, right? So welcome to Flexbox Froggy. This is a game for like learning CSS. So in simple terms, this whole lily pond is a Flexbox container, and this frog is unfortunately not a real frog, but it's a Flexbox element, and this lily pod is just staying there. So if you want this Flexbox element to come there, what you need to do is you need to do something like justify content. So justify content is created, it's clearly explained in this. So here we can do like center. What center does, it's going to go center. So if we try to use flex end or something like that, it is going to go to the frog, and the next button is also going to be getting enabled. So this is one of the best easy way to learn Flexbox. And here you have got around 24 different lessons. The same way, there is something called a CSS Grid Garden. So CSS Grid Garden is another game for learning CSS grids by the same developer. So if you see this, there are like 28 different levels because CSS Grid is a bit difficult. So Code Wars is also there, and Code Wars is another application, like another service that actually helps you in learning code, and that's what I initially said. And apart from these things, you have got all these roadmaps and other things. So this is something which I wanted to tell. And you have front end, back end, and React as well. So I'm a MERN stack developer, so I choose React obviously. So these are a couple of things will help you in becoming a full stack developer once you are starting to work with your journey. So was this helpful?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Thank you so much, sir. So I hope, guys, you got your answer for the roadmap, and don't worry, we will be sharing all of these links, even the game, with you in the email. We will share everything that Mr. Praveen has just shared with you. Okay, so don't worry.
And one more thing is like, who wants to say something? Like if you are interactive, I'm really happy to provide you with a $50 coupon of something that will help you to start your full stack web development journey. So
that's really crazy. So comment it down, guys.
Yeah, come on, send a small message.
There's a live giveaway going on right now.
I mean, every single time when I'm doing a live stream, there is a giveaway going on and people know about it. So make a full screen screenshot and put it on the LinkedIn or somewhere. And definitely there is also social giveaways also there. So yeah. So, and I haven't seen any good questions that's been asked. Like there is literally no questions on the live stream. So if there is one good question that a person asks right now, which includes Punit, I would be very happy to give away the $50 coupon after this stream. Okay, and by the way, it's all live here, so it will be available entire time of the earth is there or internet is there. So I cannot cheat here. So I'm literally saying that I'm going to give away one thing. So go ahead.
So guys, you got the time.
All right. So Punit, any other questions? Seems like
So
if
yeah, we
if
have
you're
a
the next person who is going to start the question, then I'm going to give it to you.
last question. Before that, I would like to wait for the people. So they might
Yep.
be like,
Since I've we are talking about cloud computing, we are talking about full stack web development. I've got this AWS coasters. How many of you want these things? There are like so many AWS stickers also here. So I'm happy to send all over to the to anyone who is. So these are physical goods, but there are also digital goods available. So I'm not like literally cheating anyone because
looks like my looks like my beach box is waiting for some more stickers.
okay, some more stickers. We have also got, if someone is very much interested in gaming, Python, machine learning, there is this new thing from AWS. It's called as Deep Racer. And Deep Racer is something that actually runs the autonomous devices like missions.
Yeah, there's some sort of car there, right? Yeah, I've
Yes.
seen it on the Amazon. They have a car that you can purchase, and you can just program that car to go through
Exactly.
a road.
It's a
Yeah,
machine
that's
learning
amazing.
car and
That's
it automatically, yeah, it automatically does all those things. So
I'm
it's
actually really into the machine learning, and currently I'm reading this thing. So before this
okay.
event, I was reading this thing.
We have people here. So Aditya, Tushar, Adarsh, Sanskar, Punit, Ayush. 6 of you
Yeah.
are here, including you, Ayush. Sorry, including you, Punit. So get the best question, and I'm gonna give something really cool. Like first thing is the digital goods, which can be sent you right away. Others, these things might take some time. I'll send you something over so that you can send me your address, and then I'll see how I can post it from the UK to India. I'm currently in London, so postage, it will take a long time for India Post
Yeah,
and Royal.
absolutely.
So yeah, so that's not a problem, but I'm ready to do that. Go on with
So
the next
guys,
question.
do you got some question for? I'm just waiting for them to ask
Go
a
ahead,
question.
Punit, with your question. We will definitely answer at least one question from the audience if someone decides to ask the question.
So actually, there's a craze going on about Flutter and React. Okay, so
Okay.
we can create an app, the mobile app using Flutter as well as the React Native. What would you prefer, and what's the
I would
best practice to go?
I would say if you want the best mobile app to be created, go with Flutter or Dart. And if you are preferring, you have got zero experience with Flutter or Dart, but you are a React JS developer just like me, go with React Native because you will be happy in development and you will do a lot of things with React Native rather than learning completely a new language called Flutter or Dart or Rust and then creating an application. So it depends on the developers really, but if it also depends on how quick you're learning something. So try both of the things. But if you already know JavaScript, then React Native will be a better choice, but check it out. Check everything and then decide on it yourself.
And how about the internship opportunities? Because there are a lot of scam going on in the college WhatsApp group. Like share this link with so many people.
I mean,
there will be
asking
a random
campus ambassador.
Yeah, exactly.
The company that starts with V and ends at O. Dude, that's completely a scam. See, understand this one. Internship. It means you as a student, you are providing your services during your student time when you are a student, but still you are working for the company. You are the one who is going to get paid, not the other people getting paid, right? So that means training. Please understand this basic difference, or else you're going to sit dumb for your entire life. Internships are supposed to be either 0 rupees you are getting yourself, or you will be getting something more, not you are going to pay something from your pocket. Got it? So please be clear about that and seriously say no to all the trainings which are available for free in YouTube from either my channel or there are like so many different channels that are available here. So we are providing all these things for free for learning something totally new. So you can learn in English, you can learn in Tamil, you can learn in Hindi, you can learn in any of your language, or you can even learn from your friend or from the documentation. Like literally learning is not a big deal. Learning is free now. Education, we made it possible. You can easily get it for free. The only thing that you are not able to get is how okay, there are some geniuses who would be saying like Jupiter's, yeah, Praveen, these companies give me a certificate. Dude, if you come with a certificate like that, I've been hiring people for about like 5 years now. So I would not even consider it a certificate. If you're able to do something really cool and post it to LinkedIn or something like that, I would see that, prefer that, and give you a job directly. Being a vice president of engineering, definitely I will be able to directly hire people. So if you want a job, just demonstrate that you can do something. That's what I would see. So that is having more power than a mere certificate or a paper or a resume.
So TLDR, skills are more important than all those certificates, So don't run behind these certificates, and because they don't really carry some weight. Okay, so run behind the skills, gain some experience, and that's what will be beneficial for you. And one more question, the last question that I have is,
and also I would like to ask if anyone objects with my statement. I became a bit emotional. I know, I'm sorry about that. I should have not been doing that on the live stream, which everyone sees, and but still, that is the truth, right? I don't want you all to get scammed, really.
Yeah, keep that in mind, guys. So last question that we have is, how much one should be concerned about the college academic parts like CGPA and all? Do they matter, or should they blindly just learn something just to pass the exam and then go for the skills, go for the internship, go for the other opportunities?
When I started studying, it was not CGPA for me. It was still the mark system. And guess my mark, by the way I'm talking, or like so long you have interacted with me, what would have been my marks?
At least more than 91%, I guess.
I've got a just pass in DSA, 36 out of 100. And overall, I've just got like 70 plus, slightly around. Marks doesn't matter.
That does, yeah. So you have just answered such a big question in just some seconds. That's amazing. So
you have a live example, by the way.
Yeah.
Someone doesn't believe me.
Really appreciate it.
I believe it. I'm here, alive, very much alive. Okay, there are a couple of questions from the people who are watching in YouTube, and there is one question from Sanskar Srivatsava. Yes, I'm interested in front-end development. Was gonna ask that Flutter versus React.js, React Native. If I know Dart and Rookie at Flutter. Okay, if you know Dart and Rookie at Flutter, see, React Native versus Flutter gives you better quality applications, whereas in terms of React Native, it is not that good quality, right? So considering these things, I would say it is always better to go with Flutter in this case, in case if you know it. But if you want to try something out, obviously, if you have the time, go ahead, learn both the things, come to a good level, try to do the same application both on Flutter and React Native. And since you know what application you're going to build, it should not be a bit difficult for you to what needs to be done, etc. So all you need to know is the syntax, how to do this in Flutter versus React Native. As simple as that. You have Google, try it out, try both, and then get it. Okay, so such a nice question. Sanskar, go ahead and send me a message on LinkedIn. I would like to give you the $50 thing which I wanted to give.
Congratulations, Mr. Sanskar.
And Ayush sent a message and deleted it. So if you would like to ask the question, see, no question is a stupid question unless and until your intentions are stupid. See, you don't know something. I don't know what is CP. Okay, in front of everyone, there are like almost 10,000 subscribers, 10,000 people who might be able to watch, and there will be 1 million people who might be able to see the stream after this. I don't know what is CP. Please tell me what is CP. I can actually ask this. It's completely not a problem. I don't have any problems in asking it, because genuinely I wanted to know what is this competitive programming, what is the fuss about it, and what is this dynamic programming. At least for dynamic programming, I can understand something. So there is a feedback coming in. Based on the feedback, you need to work on that. So that is dynamic programming or DP. But competitive programming, I have got literally zero clue. Or maybe whatever I have been doing these days, is that constitute as competitive programming? Maybe, we don't know. So don't hesitate in asking any questions. No one is going to judge you. Even if they judge you, are they going to impact you in any of your life? I generally ask, அவங்க என்ன எனக்கு பொண்ணா கொடுக்க போறாங்க, which means are they going to give me a girl to marry me? I don't care. So be happy, ask your questions. What if you got the right answer, or if you get multiple answers out of which one is really going to change your life? Ask your questions, don't hesitate.
So the last question that I just came to my mind is about the open source community. Okay, so how one should, are you an open source contributor, sir?
100%. I'm extremely active in open source communities. So I love React.js so much. So I have been working with a lot of, I have been working on a lot of hackathons. I have been a hackathon hunter. And whenever a problem comes to my mind, I try to use React to solve it. So most of the things will be like, you can solve it using JavaScript or React. React is very easy for me to visualize the problem and solve it. So I did a lot of solutions, created a lot of solutions to a lot of problems, and published into the open source domain. A lot of people have been also contributing to it, and thereby I'm also getting to know a lot of things about it. So that's something.
Thank you so much, Mr. Praveen. So let's wait for the other people if they have some sort of questions, because I'm really satisfied with that.
So, Sanskar is asking another question, which is about the roadmap of React. So the roadmap.sh website does have React roadmap as well. So go ahead, check it out. So https roadmap.sh.
Yes, is there a small roadmap to learn React?
There is this website has got the best roadmap, to be honest. I tried looking at it, and it seems to be really good for 2022.
I wonder what he means by a small roadmap. You need to cover everything.
Roadmap is I believe he says give me a simple roadmap for learning it, not an in-depth roadmap. So in simple terms, start with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Once you learned JavaScript, go with the latest version of JavaScript, which is ES6. And then once you know ES6, you have two paths to go. One, you can choose React and Redux, or if you can go for the backend, you can choose Node.js and Express.js. So choose your path. That's how you go. And then inside React, you will be learning basically about components, what is this virtual rendering thing, virtual DOM, etc. Then components and components, then different types of components. You have class components, stateful class components, stateless functional components. Then you have got the other pure components and other nonsense things that we never use. Then going further, you have got states and props. States are like our common sense, whatever we think. We have our own memory, that is states, and props are like the people who give us advices. So things that come from the outside. So this itself is like a storytelling mode, right? So you are an app, and if you have some thoughts and you store something in your memory, that is state, versus if someone says, hey, sun rises in the east, it's a new fact. That is a fact for you. It's a prop for you. So that kind of storytelling thing is really helpful in these things. So React, states and props, event handling, data flow. I actually, this is something which I should never tell people, but since it's, I would rather tell this so that people will understand things. So these are the practical React interview sessions that I conduct for getting people into my company. And I kind of test them on these areas: components in React, states and props, event handling, data flow or control flow, hooks are really the newest things in React. And then the rendering logic, what exactly happens when React renders the application architecture in front end, nested components, the component data flow between the components, thinking out of the box by giving a crazy problem and trying to see how you solve. You don't need to solve it, but I want to see how you solve. Based on that, I would select or reject. Most probably I would select people, because things can be learned, and the efficiency and the ability to learn new things, that is what I look in people.
And one more question is striking into my mind is, why you choose web development? There are a lot of fields. Why especially web development?
Examples?
And what's the difference between what's the best thing in web development,
Okay, first thing you need to understand that is when I was starting my career, there was not much options, or I was not having any mentor to guide me something. So I want to be that person who is missing in my life for everyone else. That is the reason why I'm doing a lot of things. As I said, I'm already getting a huge pay from my company, and there is no reason for me to do all these things. But I would like to do is because I wanted to have that mentor, which I did not have, and I wanted to be that person for other people. So, coming to the answering this question, hey, before that, there is another question from Sanskar. Um, how to become good at front end development if you're a colorblind? Hey, welcome. I'm a colorblind person. I don't know the difference. I don't know what this color is or this color is. Both the colors almost look same for me. So this color and this color look same. I know that these two are not the same color. So generally I use this inspect element and eyedropper for making sure they are different colors, which actually I happen to know that I am a colorblind when I was working with HSBC Bank, and where I had to give a crucial presentation. The user experience should be crucial. And when there were like two colors which were different colors, I said that both of them are same. That's when I came to know that, okay, there seems to be some issue. And when I went to the doctors, I came to know that the cones were not actually working, or cones or rods. We have those two cells, red green color blindness. That is what is my problem. It's a deuteranopia and it's very mild. So if you see 16 million colors, I see 16 colors. That's it. So there is,
this but question, by looking at your website, one cannot guess like you are colorblind. That's really awesome. You are real and awesome front-end developer. I must say that.
Thank you. I mean, thanks to Google Chrome's dev tools, really. I would just all these tools are helping me.
I guess you can pretty much guess the hex value of everything, you know.
So sky blue is 87 CEB. This color could be kind of like FC00, something like that. Pretty much that's the thing. So orange is FFA 500. Yellow is obviously 0F0. Green. And FF0 is yellow. Black is 000, and white is FFF. So pretty much yes. Most of the colors I've got it like in mind. But unfortunately we are humans. We need to put a name to it.
Yeah, exactly. So even Ayush Parikh, I can see, is curious to know why web development.
Back in my days, there were not much options that were available, or maybe I did not know much options. First thing I was knowing is like there is engineering or a doctor. Choose one of them. So I chose engineering to kill myself, not to kill others. So once I choose engineering, there were only two options. You want to go to IT or you want to go to non-IT. I love playing games. Computers have always fascinated me going to IT. So in IT, you want to go with IT, information technology, or computer science and engineering. I don't know what information technology is. There is computer word in computer science and engineering. I took computer science and engineering. So I went into there. That was my basic knowledge. And when I went to the languages, first thing they said was C, C++. I hated it. Java, yuck. HTML, wow, I can draw something like colorful images. Clicking on this shows a different page with very less amount of input or like the development effort. I want to go with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's how web development came in. And this came in when I was in my 8th standard. So 6th, 7th, and 8th standard, I wanted to do these things. So from that time onwards, so in my 6th standard, I was learning Visual Basic 6 for in record time by Steve Brown. It was sent to me by my neighbor uncle, Bhaskar uncle.
I did the Visual Basic as well.
Yay, wow, nice. So VB6
Visual
I started.
Basics, Q Basics and everything. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, everyone starts their programming journey with that, I believe. So VB6 was my first thing. Then I know that I came to know that VB6 will not execute in any non-Windows machines or mobile browsers or something like that. Browsers. That's when I thought like, okay, I should be using something like, on the web side of things. So web, and I have only VB6 experience, ASP VB script. That was almost similar. So I started working with ASP, and then ASP was a closed source Microsoft's commercial thing. So unfortunately, I was not even able to buy a 10 rupees Lay's packet myself. I have to ask my dad or something. So what about $10 hosting for Windows servers? Not possible at all in my life. So I switched to open source. That was when I was coming to know something called as open source is there, and there was this PHP and MySQL, which was very dominant. Even now it is dominant. And at that point of time, I came to know that there is this book called by for Dummies and PHP 5 for Dummies by Janet Valladay. That was a great eye-opener book for me. Back in those days, it was only books, no YouTube, nothing. So I started learning that, and everything was so clear, crystal clear. I started creating when during the 10th standard, you all will split out, right? Your 10th to 12th is like, 10th you will have a farewell, 12th you will have a farewell. So when the 10th farewell happened, everyone was there with a slam book. I was not able to afford a slam book, but I was able to create a free website which actually uses a guest book, which was written by me, a guest book written by me in PHP. And I was giving that link to them. But back in those days, they did not understand what it does. Unfortunately, I still have only 4 to 5 entries in that. I mean, it was the accessibility problem. Not many people had a computer with them, and not many people had internet with them. So that was the problem. But I created my first website in my 7th or 8th standard, and 10th standard, I gave that to everyone, but no one understood that. So going further, I was a LAMP stack developer, and then I became a Burn stack developer now. So that's how my journey was there.
And what about the one, like I'm not really want to be a web developer. I'm more interested in, data science and all. So there are many people who, maybe the people who are watching us right now, or maybe the people who will watch this after this thing. So there are people who are interested in cybersecurity, people who are interested in software development. Should they also try web development? Or should they just pursue their dream?
They can. There is no doubts about it. Like, they don't want to... I don't want to limit them to not try those things. If you want, you try. But at the same time, Python, web, AI, ML has got, data science has got a huge scope rather than web development. Unfortunately, you guys will not be able to work like all the creative things that we do. But there is a lot of things that you can do. You can earn a lot more than what I earn. So up to you. Like whatever you feel is good, go with that.
So maybe I can add my answer as well here. So I have choose the web development to learn the web development just to participate in the hackathons. And because I have created my model to predict a face. Okay, where should I put it? Okay, how should I share it with my friends? So that's why we need a website. Okay, and even if you are creating games, if you want to be a game developer, you can also create games that runs on websites. There are many JavaScript libraries responsive that can help you to do that. So that's what fascinates me about web development. I think it's the basic need to become a developer. You should understand how the internet works, how the network works, and that's the beginning part of a software cycle or a web development cycle.
Not exactly. I would say that is the basic thing that is needed for becoming a developer. See, one thing which actually made me feel so bad is yesterday, one of my friend, she was working on a project, and there is this guy. I don't know whether he knows anything about development or not. Since this girl, she's extremely good in React and JavaScript side of things. But that guy, he is completely a brainless person. He wants her to work on Laravel. She did not know anything about PHP or Laravel. Because of that, this guy said, like, you are not even a developer if you don't know Laravel. I know another person who is from JPMC. He still says that, oh, you don't know Java, you don't like to work on Java, then you are not a full stack developer. I don't know where these things are coming from. These people need to be, become aware about like what exactly full stack development means. So I'm very much finding them pathetic than they don't know what exactly full stack development or like what is the real definition of developer means. Like it is not even in your skills of the language, but it is in the skills of the way you approach a problem and try to solve it. Even if you know the basic algorithm, like algorithm in the sense the steps to solve, even in the pseudo ways, that alone is enough. So that's exactly what I wanted to say. And there is also this question from Sanskar. how much networking and DevOps is required to start web development? Are there any new suggestions to start with Java? That, by the way, I started with Java. Because of that, I hated Python. Okay, Python is not getting into my brain. That's the reason I'm not working with Python. But Java, I hated because it is statically typed. A lot of things that you need to write. You need to write the Java code. You need to compile it with using Java C, and then you need to run it using the bytecode using Java. And okay, so many things. I don't want to waste my time in doing all those things. So I just wanted to go with JavaScript, which is very instant interpreted language and it runs off the hook. And also the same thing with PHP as well. You don't need to create an application or an environment for it. You just need to run the server, and it is simpler than JavaScript, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
how much networking and DevOps is required? Zero, literally zero. Cool. You were about to ask something, Puneet. I stopped you. Go on.
No, I'm done with my questions, I guess.
Awesome. I guess we are also
not
done
for
with
now, I guess.
So I would like Ayush and Sanskar and Puneet to talk to me on LinkedIn. Put a small message on LinkedIn so that I can give you 3 your deserving goodies, and it's worth $50. Use it well, and it's going to help you with your web development journey. I don't know how much web development you will be using in your life, Puneet, but it's going to definitely help you. Doctors have also got websites for them, so it's definitely going to help you in.
I'm currently working as a web developer for a startup, though, but
excellent.
by saying that I'm not really want to be a web developer. I mean, I will be pursuing my career in research actually, but I'm very fascinated about web development. Even my dad is a web developer, so that's where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So I really love web development, but I don't think I would be pursuing web developer. And who knows, maybe someday I'm just sitting in a Zoom meeting and saying that's how my web dev journey started. Who knows?
Right. I completely get that. Yeah, a lot of people are calling me in spite of I telling them that I'm in the live stream. So I guess it's time for the people in India as well to go sleep. And I know developers don't sleep right now, but they need to. they have to have. I mean, they will be having different works than seeing this person talking. So yes, I would, as usual, when I say Sanskar. No question is a dumb question. Just shoot it out. I'll definitely answer you. Okay. So yeah. So with that being said, if there are no more questions, I'm happy to say that I hope it was a good session, but only 3 or 4 people came up, and I've got around 10 to 15 different coupons I wanted to give, and there are so many coasters I would like to give as well. So there's so many things from Amazon. So I thought of giving to all those people who are coming to this stream. I was expecting 100 people, but only 4 people turned up, which is pretty sad.
We were also expecting more people, but maybe because of the flow we had.
I will do one thing. I'll just give it to the other streams and other things. So
yeah, sure.
It's good. So
you guys can also join Mr. Praveen in the other streams. Just follow him on the social media, subscribe to the channel. You're good to go. Yeah. So cool. Thank you, Mr. Praveen, for the session. It was a lovely session. It was lovely talking to you, and really looking forward for the further collaboration and the further talks.
I'm always ready.
Cool, thank you, Mr. Praveen.
See you then.
So did we get the question from Mr. Sanskar?
Oh, has he given it? Oh, yeah. I want to learn React and React Native, but because of Flutter, I don't like HTML and CSS. Wow. Crazy. So unfortunately, if you want to learn React and React Native, you need to learn HTML and CSS. So if you don't like HTML and CSS, just go for Flutter. Flutter is really awesome. And I understand we have in some finals. Okay, all the best with your finals. All the best with your exams. All the best, Ayush. Do well. And
actually, people were even today they were having the semester exams.
Exactly.
So maybe, and tomorrow there is an also semester exam. So, they just want to pass the exam. Maybe studying
it is going to be
right now. Don't worry, guys. Because this
and whenever you have time after your exams, come and watch this stream. It is going to be there forever. And ask me questions. I'm going to be alive, not forever, but at least for the next 30 years. So I'll be able to happily answer all your questions, give you all a guide that I can give you. Whatever I can do, I will definitely do for it. So students are the future of the country, and just make sure you are going in the right direction. So with that being said, one thing which I always say all the students: stay home, stay safe, stay away from the pandemic, corona, etc. Be healthy. Your health comes first before anything, because I was a victim a couple of days ago, so I know how it feels. So be good to your health and your body. All right. So bye, and Punit.
Thank you everyone for joining. Bye bye.